Okay, welcome back to the Prim Show. As you know, this is my weekly wrap up. I'm doing something different. So I'll do something that I love, hold dear to myself, and as action and martial art movies. Today, well, actually, I reached out to Sean. I just like did a Hail Mary because I kind of follow him on his page on Facebook. I like some of the content that he does in his group, his Short Brother group, and he responded back to me. So I'm very happy to have him on my platform. Uh, Here we go. We have Night.
There we go. What's going on, everybody?
Yeah. So, Sean, real briefly,
Hey,
there's an echo going on. Do you hear echo?
nope.
Okay, Sean, do you hear echo?
I do not, but it might be caused by my microphone being pretty hot.
Oh, okay. All right. Hey, Night Watch, how you doing, man?
Doing good, man. Doing good. How you guys doing?
Good, good. Getting yourself set up here.
All right.
All right. So, let's get into it by talking about the first question, first statement. What got you into martial art movies? I'm gonna start off with Sean. What
Yes,
really
sir.
got you going?
Well, a little bit old school, right? So, child of the 80s. And at the time, this was way before Wu-Tang Clan and everybody else kind of revived it in the early 90s. It was all VHS. That's what you had. That's what you had to go with. And, I'm sure anybody that's been around for a while remembers those days. And between that and Kung Fu Theater, if you could find that, there were always like the dollar movies that you could hit up that were running, even if it was like a Golden Harvest or occasionally a Shaw movie. You can find those, but it was a lot of VHS back then. Doing what you had to do. So that's kind of how I got into it. Was because you remember the 80s was real big on Asian culture. The Japanese were everywhere. They were buying up Los Angeles, and that whole cultural influence of the 80s and the Asian, especially Japanese. Well, that kind of led me down this path. So here I am today, still doing it.
Okay. So, Night was. How did you get into the martial art scene? Like, what got you
Well,
there?
yeah, pretty similar. I mean, as a kid, growing up at that time, you saw, the Bruce Lee movies and especially Kung Fu Theater. I'm glad you mentioned that, Sean, because me, my brother, and my cousins, we would literally sit around the TV and watch Kung Fu Theater. You know what I mean? And
Yeah, definitely.
it was great, man. But I fell in love with the movies, man. I fell in love with watching Bruce Lee. I think the first Bruce Lee movie I saw was Way of the Dragon when he was fighting Chuck Norris
Mhm.
in the Coliseum. And next thing you know, I was probably like
Actually,
7 years
I'll come
old,
up here.
and I started taking martial arts myself, and I've been doing martial arts ever since. So the movies, it all came together, man. Learning about the culture and the martial arts I was taking, and the movies, and I still love those movies to this day.
Okay. Um, for me, like I said, I'm up in New York, so I mean, up in Connecticut, where we had a drive-in, drive-in theater or kung fu theater, they call it.
Hmm.
We had a flea market where some of the guys used to come up from New York and sell these
Gotta love
videotapes.
the flea market.
Yeah. Then we started venturing out to New York. Like I was talking to Sean earlier, we used to go down to 125th Street. Um, there's a store around Grand Central. I forgot the name of 40 something chamber or something like that. And they used to have a lot of kung fu movies. And then the next step was buying an all regional player.
Hmm.
So if there was any movie that come out, we could watch at the same time because it's to break all the codes and stuff to watch these movies. And that's I started meeting other people who collected, and that's how I got into it. And then again, my uncles and them they used to have dojos and practice Shotokans and Jitsu and all that stuff because they were stationed in Okinawa, Japan for like years as drill sergeants and stuff. So when they came back, I stuck with the boxing and they stuck with the martial arts, but they showed me maybe a flip or two or a kick, but
Yeah.
basically that was it. But Night Watch, you said you studied. What technique did you practice? What technique you're proficient in?
Oh man. Well, when I was a kid, when I first started out, my dad he got me into
Says
karate,
you want it.
so
If not, you
I
can
did
just
that for a little while.
tell them live.
And then in my teens, I did taekwondo, and from I don't know, from about 18 on till now, I've been doing kung fu and tai chi. So it's just always interested me, all of it. It's so cool, it really is.
Okay, so the next question I want to present to you guys is: how many martial art movies you own in your collection, and do you have any memorabilia is connected?
Ooh.
So let's start off with Sean.
Oh shucks, man, that's a tough question. I probably have 200. I would guess. It's kind of like a lot of people in the group mention this all the time. Sometimes the releases come out and they come out in bulk, and when they do, you just got to get in there and get them while you can, even
Mhm.
if you don't even want that movie. You get it anyways because you may never see it again be released. So that's kind of how I ended up with so many, and you just keep collecting. It's a disease. Everyone, it's a sickness. I got to admit it. Once you go down this path of these, it's so culturally enriching. That's the hook. So
Mhm.
Mhm.
yeah, I got a couple that are a little bit rarer and hard to find, but like some region stuff, like region one stuff that I really like. But
Oh, really?
yeah. I have one somewhere behind me. Maybe I didn't bring it out. Yeah, there's some of it that, like this guy here. This is the one arm. This is a little bit of a collector. This is the entire one armed swordsman.
Nice.
Say
Everything, every movie ever made, like all of it.
Nice.
It's all so old that it's busted, and it's all like original region one stuff. And yeah, I've had this for a while. These was one of those. You get it while you can.
yes, that's a rare item right there. Now, do you have any memorabilia, like posters or anything like that? Have you been to conventions, have anything signed or anything to that nature?
No, I don't. It's sometimes the only way to get that stuff is to go. Like I'm in Texas, so a lot of what goes on in the martial arts, especially in the movies, is all up in New York or Los
Mhm.
Angeles. So it's pretty hard to get that really uh, collectible stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Especially lately. Like I've tried to get a hold of Celestial Pictures probably 20 times. I've called them on the phone. I've emailed them, just trying to find out events and everything else. And really, I don't get any response from them. I'm not sure why, but a lot of what they've been doing lately is right there in Hong Kong. They're not really going out and doing shows or events anymore. So
Mm.
hopefully one day.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Nightwatch, do you have any martial art movies in your collection, and do you have any
Oh man.
martial art memorabilia?
I couldn't even tell you how many martial arts movies I've had all these years in my collection. I still have VHS cassettes, man. Like
Yeah.
some old school stuff, Shaolin versus Wu Tang and
Mm-hmm.
um geez, some really really old stuff, man. Um I don't even know what I would say for a number. I actually, and I'm gonna be honest, I actually got to the point where I actually started to try to go from VHS to DVD and stuff
Mm-hmm.
like that. So I actually did a lot of trading my old VHS and stuff like that.
Okay.
But I've got tons of it. And as far as memorabilia, I mean, I've got posters. I mean, especially when I was younger, I used to have,
Mhm.
geez, man, I used to have like so many damn posters of Bruce Lee and Gordon Liu and all those guys, Master Killer, 36 Chamber of Shaolin. And books. I mean, of course, part of that kind of bleeds over into my martial arts practice, of course. So it all kind of blurred together. But I used to love to go to Boston, to Chinatown, because you could find some really cool stuff there. I mean, whether it be posters or books, magazines. I used to have Black Belt
Oh
magazine.
yeah, I remember
I
that.
collected every month. Every
Yeah.
month, man. I used to get it every month. Um, just a whole I mean, I'm not gonna lie, weapons too. I got weapons,
Hey, I
but
got some. I
again,
got some weapons. I got
you
some
know,
stuff.
Nice.
part of that
Nice.
is part of the martial arts practice too. But yeah, man, it is so much stuff, and like you guys were saying, once you go down the rabbit hole, you could just really get lost in it. You really can. I mean, I still got a box full of stuff that my kung fu teacher gave to me, that was full of magazines, books, old Chinese manuals of stuff, stuff that was in movies, but also real stuff too, man. And I still haven't even gone through all that stuff.
Okay.
So
Okay.
it's a cool world though when you get into it, and especially as a kid growing up, it was, at least for me, it was so cool because it was like another world that I could travel to. And eventually when I was practicing it, it was like, man, it's tangible. And it kept me on the straight path and
Yep.
all that kind of stuff. And it gave me, especially now, it gave me a sense of groundedness, and I've been able to, fortunately for me, be able to use that in my real life and in my job and all that type of stuff. So it's cool stuff, man. It
So
really
what
is.
state you're in now, Night Watch? You're
Maine.
Maine, okay, and that's where he's from.
I'm from Maine.
Oh, well, there you go. All right.
What?
Man, I'm
What's the
I'm
odds?
I'm right on the edge, man. I'm only like 45, 50 minutes from Boston.
Wow.
Yeah.
Mhm. So we have Tony Man in, and he says, "Sup everyone," and we have what did I just watch? And she says hi,
Lady
and
Shasha.
I had padded nunchucks, a few ninja stars, and some butterfly
Yes.
knives in my lifetime. Okay,
Yes.
okay.
I
Yes.
think I think every major city had a martial arts store where you could buy stuff, right? Like I did too. I had nunchucks and butterfly knives. Yeah, I feel you on that one.
Mhm.
Man, but when you're a kid, you don't really realize what you got. You're
Yeah.
just like, oh, I got this cool butterfly knife. You do
Mhm.
this all day. And then
Yep.
when you're done, you throw it away. You don't even think about it ever again, not
Yeah.
realizing,
Mhm.
20 years later, you're going to be like, man, I remember all this cool stuff I used to
Yep.
have, and I can't get it no more.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
So you know what the next question I want to present to you guys, the statement is: what impact Asian martial art movies had on American action movies? I will go with you, Sean.
Um, I mean, wow.
Mm.
I would bet 75% of modern action movies, it's a chain reaction. It's like, oh well, Tarantino did this, but and that inspired somebody else to do something else. And
Mhm.
anytime you see a flying kick in a movie, it was because they saw somebody else do it, who saw somebody else do it, which goes all the way back to "Come Drink with Me."
Mm-hmm.
You know,
There you
if you
go.
really think about it, well, there are some exceptions. If you got to admit, the Japanese samurai movies from the 50s,
Mm-hmm.
like
Zakichi.
Mhm.
I can't even remember the name of the movies. I feel terrible. Some of those Japanese black and white, oh, they're amazing movies too, but they're like 4 hours long, and those just launched an entire industry. And
Mhm.
but at the same time, in China, especially in Hong Kong, they were doing the same thing. It's just no one really knew it because it was kind of, well, you know, it was inside the borders of China, Hong Kong, Taiwan. You know, there wasn't that international appeal. But as soon as it caught on and it lit in the 70s, and of course, you gotta mention Bruce Lee.
Yeah.
You know, the truth is, he opened the door for the Western culture, film-wise, that no other actor really was able to do. And
I agree with you. Totally agree with you on that.
yeah, I know like the Facebook group I have is Shaw Brothers Kung Fu. And there's a lot of people in there that talk about Bruce Lee, and I will give him that respect. The man did open a lot of doors in Western filming.
Okay. So we have What Did I Just Watch? The Matrix fight scenes were heavily influenced by Asian martial arts cinema. So I'm going to come to you, Night Watch. What's your thought on the question that I presented?
Yeah, and also to Lady Shasha, I mean, it was totally influenced because the Wachowski siblings, they wanted to make a kung fu movie. They wanted to make an anime kung fu action sci-fi movie, and they drew upon Shaw Brothers and Bruce Lee and all of that. So absolutely, and it was some amazing stuff in the Matrix. But yeah, American movies, man, like Sean was saying, I mean, maybe even more, maybe 85% influence because, I mean, you really, Bruce opened the door, okay, and now all of a sudden, American audiences they hear these words like karate and kung fu and judo, and it starts to have more of a picture that they can see in their mind, right? And he's trying to pass along his philosophies. Bruce was cool though, because in his movies, he always tried to have a little bit of the philosophy in there. He's trying to teach as well, and that's what I always loved about his movies. But then you got into the '80s, and Chuck Norris. Chuck Norris trained with Bruce Lee.
David Carradine.
David Carradine. They were all
Superfoot Wallace, remember him?
Yes, Superfoot Wallace. They all came from that lineage of commonality. From Bruce. But I'm gonna tell you what, man. Especially as a kid growing up, and I was lucky enough to have some friends that used to get bootleg copies of stuff that was over in Asia that we could sneak and watch. And sometimes it wasn't even in English. But once Jackie Chan came over and like blew up, with like Rumble in the Bronx and all that type of stuff, it was almost like those eyes were widened even more, as far as these fight scenes that were so complex, but also a grace to it, a beauty to it as well. And then of course Jet Li blew up, and then all of a sudden Jackie and Jet were famous 15, 20 years before that.
That's right.
Like the rest of the world knew who they were. I was fortunate enough as a kid. I knew who Jackie Chan was. Everyone's like, wow, this guy is so cool. Like, dude, Jackie been cool since like the late 70s, mid to late 70s,
Yeah.
But
so we have Tony Man who says, didn't Bruce Lee fight Kareem Abdul-Jabbar? Yeah.
Yes,
the game of that. And that was one of his students too.
Oh, that brings up a great point though, about cinema. One of the forms of filming of cinema that took place, one of the very first people that adopted it was those blaxploitation films in the 70s, really early on. I mean, they were really early, 71, 72. Like Foxy Brown and Dolomite, even, those type of films. They were already incorporating the martial arts into them heavily.
Oh yeah.
And you know what? My thought to the question I presented to you guys is that my take on it is, growing up, I was watching, the animation, right? We had what was it? Macro Plus. What's the other one? The one with the tiger back in the days. Yeah, had all this stuff. But when it came to martial art films, the influence Asian cinema had on American cinema, I always think about Bruce Lee Into the Dragon. I always think about the Kato Show. I always think about what's that show? They had a quick run with Sammo Hung and Arsenio Hall. Remember that?
Martial law.
Yeah. I think about David Carradine. His show.
Hmm.
So it's always been around. Now, as far as we go, um, we was exposed to the Shaw Brothers. Like for instance, that was Sammo Hung that fought Bruce Lee when they was fighting in Enter the Dragon,
Hmm.
and then that was some of the Venoms that had their hands up when he flipped over him,
Yeah.
and then that
Yeah.
was Jackie Chan who he was beating up on, and Jackie Chan was doing his stunts back in the days. You know what
Yep.
I'm saying? So
Hmm.
us as hardcore enthusiasts when it comes to martial arts, we was definitely there. Also, we started getting little stuff like Rumble in the Bronx, movies like that. What else we had going on back then? We had a couple movies going on back then. Jackie Chan was really trying to fill himself out, and then he
Yeah. I
came
mean,
back, and then
he let it.
yeah, he came back with Rush Hour.
Yeah.
He
You
did. He
know,
did
Yeah.
Super Cop, No More Mr. Nice Guy,
yeah, and then
Operation Condor.
yeah, man, and we got what did I just watch? Jackie Chan is an amazing martial artist, stunt, and dancer. Those three things help him execute the choreography and scenes amazingly.
Hmm.
Uh, there's three, Lady Sasha. It's Yung Bao, Sammo Hung, and Jackie Chan.
Yep.
Sammo Hung is considered the elder out the group. He's the choreographer. Yung Bao was the more acrobatic and the flipper, and Jackie Chan was the stuntman and a little fight scenes. And when they did Twinkle Twinkle Lucky Star,
Mm.
Mills on Wheels, all these movies, you would see them get together and you see the flow and stuff, how they did stuff. So yeah,
Hmm.
they definitely had a flow. And this we're talking about like the 80s. We're talking about the
Yeah.
80s to the early 90s.
Hmm.
But I definitely want to get into the list here that I have for you guys. Let's see, Tony Man. It was called Martial Law with Arsenio and Sema Hall. Martial Law. Now, Sean, have you seen that series? Sean,
Oh, I'm sorry.
have you seen that series? Martial Law.
I haven't seen that. When you mentioned it, I was like, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know about that one. I must have missed the boat on that show.
Yeah, CBS. I think it had 2 seasons before they canceled it.
Yeah.
Night Watch. Have you watched that show? Because I did.
Yeah, yeah, I watched it. I mean, it was on, like you said, it was on, and then they took it off. And, but it was cool, seeing Samo do his thing because I was always a Samo fan. I remember as a little kid when I saw him in, I don't know which movie of his I saw first, but all I know is I saw this big dude that was so agile. I mean, he could flip, jump, spin kick. I was just like, I gotta know more about that guy. And that's kind of how I got into Jackie as a kid, because
Man.
all three of them, like you said, them and you and Bao, they were all, they were brothers basically.
So Hobby View says Jackie Chan and Sammo Hung went to school together. Went to school together.
Mm,
This is true. This is true. They did attend school together. So this is the part where I'm going to my personal top 20 martial art list. There's no particular order to it. But I will be doing a Shaw Brother list. And then after that, I will jump over to a Japanese list. But Shaw Brothers are heavy influence on me. So they are in this list that I created. And the first one I have up here, guys, is Ip Man. 2008 it released Chinese martial art movie starring Donnie Yen.
it's a good
Sean, what's your
movie.
thoughts on this movie when you first seen it?
Hitman. Donnie Yen. Um, the guy's amazing,
Mm,
and I've probably seen Hitman. I couldn't tell you exactly when or where. Um, I do know that his contribution through Ip Man series was absolutely stunning. The first couple of Ip Man movies that he made, and see, Donnie Yen is another one that people just kind of recently discovered in the last 5 or maybe 10 years, and he's been around for a long time, and he's been doing it for decades.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I mean, it's almost like a third wave. You ever notice like Bruce Lee and the Shaw Brothers was like wave one to hit the United States, and then Jackie Chan coming, and then like the Rush Hour and how much exposure that entire genre kind of, and that's right about the same time Rumble in the Bronx came out. Wu-Tang Clan comes out with that whole revival, and then that kind of simmered down. And here we are again, and Donnie Yen and even Michelle Yeoh, kind of, she was in a little bit earlier than him as far as exposure. It's kind of like the third wave, and it wouldn't surprise me if we don't see another revival because of the technology that's available, that the movies that are being made in China, in-house there now, a lot of it's, in my opinion, cheesy. I'm not a big fan of the wire acting, where they're flying
wire food,
hopping off from bamboo trees and stuff.
Come on. Hart, he's the big time director now. He brought that wave in. Yeah. So
that is one of the reasons why I do like Donnie Yen's work, is because he always managed to stay away from that super extravagant form of filming, where like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, as beautiful as a film as it is, it's pretty fantastical, and maybe that's why Shaw Brothers has always been really super appealing, is almost everything they ever did was real stunts. There was no wires. So anyways, yeah.
So Night Watch, what's your thoughts on this as far as Ip Man?
Yeah, Ip Man is amazing, man. When I saw it, I was just like, we're back. We're back. It was, like you were saying, Sean, it was like a little bit of a lull, that wave had kind of died out a little bit with Jackie Chan and Jet Li and those guys, and Donnie Yen comes in with Ip Man, and I'm gonna tell you what, man, I've watched a lot of martial arts movies, and I've seen a lot of martial arts in real life, and that movie was just so fantastic all the way through. Story, the script, the acting, and the fights, man. It was so visceral. It's a great movie. It's a great franchise. Obviously, I own all 4 movies, but yeah, Donnie Yen's been doing it for a long time, and what a great new wave that he started. And now we see some of these other guys coming in, and like in the comments, people from the Raid and Iko Ways and those guys. It's cool stuff. It really is cool stuff.
Cool. Yeah, my first take on Ip Man was very. It was like a breath of fresh air. Sammo Hung did a fight scene for like most of these movies. I'm very big on the fight scene, seeing techniques, seeing intricate techniques done, well executed, the camera angles, widescreen, seeing everything, no quick edit stuff that they do in America. You can see everything worked out and displayed.
Yes.
Also, it was very traditional, going back to like some of the forums and stuff like that, which I do appreciate, especially in Shaw Brothers movies where you had that. There's definitely dealing with the foundation, and even if they were to embellish or make it bigger than what it is, it was still grounded in the basic martial art, kung fu and stuff. And a lot of things about Shaw Brothers movies was there was always some type of story dealing with how to better yourself to become a martial artist. So the next one I have here is Blood and Bones, 2009, USA. Our boy Michael Jai White. He got busy.
Yes, he did.
What do you think of the fight scene in the bathroom of Blood and Bone? I thought it was one of the better ones I've seen in a while for opening to a movie.
Man, you keep hitting me with these. I'm like, oh, how could I miss it? I know Michael Jaw, his work is amazing. And that's another one I haven't seen yet.
Oh, you gotta treat yourself to it, man.
Yeah,
You
it was a
got.
good one.
I'm sitting there taking notes now. Like, oh yeah, okay,
Mhm.
I got to see
Yeah.
this one next.
Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna come to you, Night Watch. What's your thoughts on that fight scene in the bathroom?
Yeah, it was good, man. I mean, Michael Jai White, and credit to him too, because we didn't mention him, but you did have people like him. Scott Adkins is still trying to lift up to that level.
Mhm.
You have had those other martial artists that have done some really great movies and have
John
got,
Claude Van Damme, can't forget
yeah,
him. Lever from
well,
Steven Seagal.
yeah. Well, I think this is the way I look at it. Before Jackie hit, and Chuck Norris kind of you know was done doing his thing. Then you had Van Damme and Seagal as far as in America, and they definitely did some great things. Um, so I think they were the ones to watch in martial arts movies, before Jackie kind of became big over here, and they had great stuff. But Michael Jai White, he's
Hmm.
good, man. He's really really good, and that movie was cool. The fight scenes were nice and crisp. I mean, he's got great technique, anyways. I mean, he's
Yeah,
a really great martial artist in real life. So I mean, it's no wonder that his fight scenes in the movies are so good. But
yeah,
even at the end, the finale was great too, man, because they had when he was when he was fighting at the end, they had O'Hara from Enter the Dragon who was in the audience, and he was even called O'Hara, Bob Wall, and I was like,
yeah,
that is so awesome, a little nod to
yeah.
the
Paying
old stuff.
homage. Yeah,
Yes,
I appreciate that. So what I just watched is where's that blank bone at? Yes, I guess she watched the movie too. She enjoyed. Has anyone
yeah.
seen Triple Threat? Yes, we did. I
Yes.
enjoyed it. I enjoyed it.
Tiger Chen. Tiger Chen is another one who's very nice.
Yeah. So the next one I got up here is Dragon Tiger Gate 2006 Chinese. Sean, have you seen that one?
Nope.
All right,
You
this probably
guys
is
are
not on
getting
your
all
list.
these new movies, and I'm like, Shaw Brothers. I know all the old stuff. All
Yeah.
this new stuff. You getting me on it. I
Okay.
came ill prepared today. I apologize.
No, because we got some Shaw Brothers mixing here, and we got some stuff for you.
I'm still taking notes though. I'm like, oh, because see
Yeah.
the new stuff, man. I kind of tend to stay away from it because I've been burned so many times watching. Like as soon as you said John Claude Van Damme, and I thought to myself, yeah, he was talented, but the movies were kind of trash. You got to admit,
Mhm.
some of them were pretty decent, but a
Mhm.
lot of them were trash.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah.
I didn't. I kind of got away from it for a while there.
It was a cash grab for him, but he definitely has some good techniques. I'm gonna come to you on Night Watch. What is your thoughts on Dragon Tiger Gate?
I didn't see that one either. So I'm gonna take some notes for that one.
Yeah,
Okay.
You gotta tell me
Okay.
about that one.
Okay. Please take
Unless
notes,
I
guys.
unless I did and forgot the title, but I don't think I've
You know
seen that
what?
one.
This is what we're gonna do. You know what? Let me go back and find something for you guys because I did it out of order. So
post it. Post it in the group.
let's see. It Man. Let's go here. So we got the post for It Man.
Oh,
Then we're gonna come down to Blood and Bones.
Yeah.
And then we got Dragon Tiger Gate.
No, I didn't see that one. Okay.
Great movie, great movie. As you see, who's in the front, guys? That's Donnie Yen.
that is Donnie Yen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's kind of an emo Donnie Yen with the hair going there, the
Right.
bangs.
Yeah.
I like the background too with the Shaolin monks.
Yeah. Actually, that movie is a redemption of a comic book series over in China that they made into a live action movie.
Okay.
So the next one I have for you guys is a
Here we
classic.
go.
Dirty Ho.
Yeah.
Oh, now we're talking.
There we go. There we
My
Dirty
boy.
Ho. So I'm gonna come to you, Sean. What's your thoughts on this?
One I actually know. I love that movie because the story is very layered. It's very complex. It's not. It's classic Shaw Brothers. I believe that was Cheng Che that directed that one.
Okay.
And the way it's layered, and that's the beauty of it is they always manage to find a way to get training, kind of like a training montage and some type of thing that needs to be overcome. And the way they spun that one, it was kind of a little dirty. You know what I mean? Like the hero wasn't wearing his white robe in that one. You know what I'm saying? And I'll never forget the line where there's this actor, I can't remember his name. He was in Return of the 36 Chambers. He was the guy that had the buck teeth. You can't forget it. He was kind of always the comedy relief. And he was in that movie. And he was like, he was saying, "Oh, sufferer." And it was kind of like a running gag throughout the whole movie. And I thought it was kind of neat. You know, it's fun to watch.
Okay, cool. So I'm going to Night Watch. What's your thoughts on this movie, Dirty Ho? When you first,
man, it's a good one, man. It is a fun watch, and you know, like you got, and we've all said it, but I always loved how the protagonist would always be in the situation where they got to figure out how to better their technique or learn a new technique, or if they don't know anything, they got to learn something. And I really thought it was crafty how those storylines were always woven into these movies. But yeah, man, it's too bad I don't have it with me, but I actually got a Dirty Ho t-shirt. It's awesome, man. And every once in a while I've worn it and people will be like, "What?" Be like, you got to be into martial arts movies.
Yeah, only we know. Us Shaw Brothers lovers know
Yeah.
what it is when we see that shirt. So the next one I got for you, I think is a classic movie, Fighter in the Wind.
Oh, I haven't seen that one.
Fighter in the Wind.
Yes, this is a 2004 South Korean. This is based on a true story where a Korean fighter went to Japan and fought doing karate and kick butt.
Nice.
Kick butt. You want to talk about a well-crafted karate kung fu movie? This is the best one hands down, and that's why I made this list. So if there's anything I want to recommend to you guys, if you want to write that down, Sean, if you want to remember it, is Fighter in the Wind. Awesome movie. Awesome movie.
Nice.
Okay, Lady Sasha, have 2 kung fu movies I saw as a kid, but I don't know the name of them. It's described to the scenes. So you think you what they were. Yeah, we could probably help you out with that, Sasha. We can help you out. We got you. We definitely got you. So the next one is a classic.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's a classic right there. So I'm gonna come to Sean. What's your thoughts on this one right here?
Man, the first time I watched that, I was pretty young. I was probably 11 or 12. And I was watching it, and I think it was the Earth. No, the Fire Ninjas, and I'm like, did I just see a breast? Was that what I thought I saw? And if sure enough, if you go back and watch it, you suddenly realize one of the groups of ninjas that came in was all females. I never even knew that, right? And I was like, yo, that's a woman's stuff hanging out there. It was
let's see. So Lady Sasha wrote first one, a guy is walking through some crops and there were spears coming up from under the ground stabbing him.
That's it.
This is the one we're talking about, Sasha.
It sounds just like this one.
Yeah.
That was the Earth ones, the guys in brown, the Earth ninjas.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So Night Zone, what's your thoughts on The
It's a
five
good
elements.
movie, man. This is a good movie, and it's funny because I just rewatched. I mean, I've seen it many times, but I just rewatched it maybe about half a year ago, and because it's just fun, man. I mean, anytime you got multiple groups and just I love the part when damn, I'm trying to remember the exact quote, but when the head chief was like, they drained my chi. I cannot practice kung fu for 3 months and all that type of stuff. I
Yeah,
love this stuff so much, man. And it's just a fun movie, man. Anyone that loves martial arts movies, or if they love, kung fu movies or Shaw Brothers movies, this is a movie you gotta see because it is just so awesome. The costumes, the weapons, like just
Yeah.
in the beginning of the movie alone, just the weaponry that they were bringing out. I was looking at this, I was like, what the hell is this shit, man? It's so cool. It's
yeah.
awesome stuff, man.
So my the reason why I made it on my list is because it was very impactful for me. Again, I share the same sentiments. When I first seen it, I was like, yo, what is going on here? We have the five elements: earth, water, wind. You know what I'm saying? All this stuff going on. The ninjas, the concept, how they was going about certain things, and how they were like counteracting the ninjas and stuff and fighting them.
Mhm.
So yeah, definitely a great movie, and that's why it made it to my list. Flying Guillotine. Was a rap about it? Yep. Yes, he did. He did rap about it. So moving on to the list, this one right here is a personal favorite.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, no, that's not it. Where is it? Did I find it? I didn't put it up there, did I? Let's see. There we go. 8 diagram pole fighters.
there you go.
Can't go wrong with this movie,
That's an
guys.
awesome poster too, man.
You
Nice.
cannot go wrong with this movie.
Oh yeah, I got that one right here.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So you know what, Sean? I'm gonna come to you. What's your thoughts when you first seen this movie?
Oh man, I tell you what, Gordon Liu on film. I don't know in real life. I know he practiced Hungar thanks to the director, his brother. Was it Luke Carl Lung? Luke Carl Lang?
I
So
think so, yeah.
that Hungar, anyways, on film, Gordon Liu with weapons always takes it to another level. And in that film, the I believe that in that film it was the fight scene in the alley, and it was very close quarters. I could be wrong, but he always shines
Oh,
whenever he.
that's Dirty Ho.
Oh, that is Dirty Ho.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, you're right. You're right.
Actually, Alexander, he was a famous Shaw brother actor. These were brothers and sisters who fought for, I want to say the emperor, but long story short, they all died on the battlefield. Gordon Liu ended up being in the monastery with the Shaolin, and they were just ravaging the town. And he came back and fought them because the sticks that they had would wrap around the poles.
Hmm.
And at the end, the Shaolin monks came in there with the wolf and stuff that they practice on,
Mm.
and they had their sticks, and they said knock the teeth out. They said we're not going to kill them. They were mainly they were knock the guy's teeth out instead of like killing them and stuff. But the fight scenes in there was awesome. The choreography with the poles in there was
Mhm.
ridiculous. To this day, I haven't seen an old school Shaw Brother movie yet that can touch that. The only one that can touch that is something that I touched on with Night Watch, and that's Once Upon a Time in China 2, where Donnie Yen fought Jet Li.
Yes. Yes. That was a good one.
Yeah, and what did I just watch? Says I found the second one. It's Master of the Flying Guillotine. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Nice.
So I want to move on to the next one, and Here we go, guys.
Ooh, ooh.
There we go.
Here we go,
There's
guys.
some of that old school Japanese right there.
So I'm gonna come to you, Nightwatch. What's your thoughts on this one?
Classic, man. It's just a classic. I mean, and I think I actually have this on VHS,
Mhm.
DVD, and I don't know if I have it on. I don't know if I have it on Blu-ray. But anyways, it's amazing, man. It's a great movie. Again, any martial
Mhm.
artist or person that loves martial arts movies, you gotta see this one, man. You got it, Sean? Sean's looking.
I think I do. I think I do. The Japanese stuff. Yeah, it's back in the day, the VHS, you keep collecting and collecting and collecting, and then
Yeah.
I probably had at some point, and the transition into DVD, a lot of stuff didn't make it, and
Hmm.
All right,
I don't.
cool.
I
Cool.
might have it now, and I don't know. Now you got me thinking about it.
Yeah. It's funny
Really?
because when I first seen this movie, what stuck out to me is when there was in this temple, I guess, and the lady said, "Have your best ninja come into the room. Now leave the room." And the girls, he tried like he threw his thing and it swung and they cut it, his rope, and they started slicing. I seen all the pieces like his nose, his lips, his fingers, and he's rolling and stuff his arm, and then they like finished them off and they went back and they were being all dainty and pretty sitting there and stuff. And they had their hats down, right? They had the big samurai hats on, and they was cutting their eyes like, what did we just see here? They got our boy, you know what I'm saying? So it stood out. But the narration in this movie with the son narrating the whole journey
Hmm.
with his father really stuck out to me. And some of the cinematography too, because there's a blazing difference between Chinese martial art movies and Japanese samurai movies. Their strikes are very straightforward and stuff, like karate, Shotokan, stuff like that, where martial art is more techniques and poses and stuff. And it looks good.
Hmm.
It's more fluffier and stuff. But yeah,
Hmm.
so Shogun Assassin made my list, and I definitely want to go to the next one. I have a comment here from Tony Man, my follower's family. He was the greatest samurai in the Empire.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He was so Ganti's cat.
yeah. Was it Liquid Swords? The album Liquid Swords. If y'all,
Mhm.
that was sampled in there, and it was so. It was like it made that song.
Well, you know what?
That
When it comes to Wu Tang, I really give them props because they merged a lot of stuff together. Like
Yeah,
you
they did.
had Method Man. What was his other name was Ghost Rider. Ghostface Killer was Tony Stark.
Hmm.
The RZA was Ghostface Killer. So forth and so on. So they merged all these things that we all grew up with and put
Hmm.
into their music and stuff like that,
Right.
along with some history stuff too, and a big, vast vocabulary that made us think and like, what did he just say? Stuff like that.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
I definitely enjoy these guys and all this stuff. This next one that I'm about to put on the screen for you guys is something that I hold dearly, and I really think they need to remake this movie. They need to remake it. It's one of the best movies that I've seen with an all-star cast. The fight scenes, the story is very simplistic, yet it got to the point. Um, Here we go. Shanghai 13.
Shanghai 13.
yeah.
Great movie.
Nice.
Night Watch. Have you seen this one?
Yes, yes. That's an oldie, man. I liked it. Absolutely. It
Yeah.
would be it's funny because you said, they need to remake it. That actually could be something that could be done very nicely, if they try to, keep grounded, keep respected to it, Because that's one thing we haven't seen is the remakes of a lot of the old school martial arts movies. Now
True.
I'm not sitting here saying that, they should remake them all and start at that as a new wave or whatever. But
Hmm.
there are some of them, like this one, I think actually would be pretty cool to see remade. You
Hmm.
know, I had
So
this one on VHS. I don't
yeah,
have it on DVD though.
Yeah. So Sean, what's your thoughts on this one? Have you seen this one? Shanghai 13.
Almost positive I have. Yeah, because that's right. This is one of the unusual films simply because I loved it. I loved it because it was set during like the World War II kind of era in between. You know, it wasn't like old traditional. That's right.
Right.
And I had to pull it up to refresh my memory here, but I remember this, and I have seen this. Another Cheng Che classic. You know, he directed it, and it's even got Tai Lung in it. You know, and
Oh yeah, it has a study class, a really nice ensemble of martial arts superstars in this movie.
it really does. Lu
Mhm.
Fang is in there.
Mhm.
Andy Lau. I didn't even
Andy
know that.
Lau, man. Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So the next one I got for you guys, here we go.
Oh yeah,
There it is.
Drunken Master.
There
So
it
I'm gonna go
is.
to Night Watch. What's your thoughts on this one?
Man, I mean, I don't want to get too geeky about it, but when I was a kid and when I first got into Jackie Chan and watched him with Drunken Master and stuff, as a kid, and me and my cousins and my brother too, we literally would play the movie, try to imitate, what they were doing, rolling around, flipping, falling. But the Legend of the Drunken Master, look, man, I'm gonna tell you what, some of the stuff that the fight scenes to this day, it's like, wow, that
Mhm.
is how you could go from the first one and go to this one and just it's even better. The
right.
intricate movements, the way he used the drunken style, that finale fight again to this day is just phenomenal. I
And
mean,
it was real.
seriously.
That wasn't no messing around. That was real deal. That
Yes.
Yes.
that ironworks that they were fighting in, that
Yes.
fire that he fell into during that was real. He was really
Yes.
on fire.
Yeah.
Yes, man. I mean, they showed the outtakes at the end of it and shit. And I mean, seriously, man, it's such a good movie. And I think that's a cool thing about this too. And all three of us are doing the same thing. When you think about these movies and you get a big smile on your face and you just feel like you feel good. I mean,
Yeah.
that's the great thing about these movies, is that
Mhm.
they really do give you a sense of joy. But this is one of the best. It really is. I'm glad you got this on the list, man. I love this
Yeah.
movie.
So there's another one. This one's gonna go left field on you guys. I'm not sure if you have seen it, but the title alone should draw you guys in to put it on your list. Here you go. The City of
City of
Violence.
Violence. No, I haven't seen
I
it.
haven't seen it.
Oh wow. Okay.
Now this one is strictly Taekwondo kicks, 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 kicks.
All right.
And what stood out to me is that there's a fight scene on a balcony in a hotel, and he kicked a guy off the balcony, right?
Uh-huh.
And the guy went to fall, like he was in the air, and he caught him by his hair and brought him back up and kept whooping his ass. I was like, wait, he kicked him off. He caught him in the air and brought him back. So I was like, you know what? I'm done. I'm done. So if you guys, make a list of that, that's one that I can highly recommend it to you guys.
Yeah, man. I wrote it down.
So here's another one that I definitely enjoyed that made my list.
Yes. Yes. Scott Adkins, baby. Yes. Scott needs more love, man. He's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. Sean, I'm not sure if you've seen this, but if not, please put this on your list. Check it out when you get a chance. Again, these movies that are on my personal list come highly recommended to you. I'm backing them, say I'm co-signing them. The fight scenes in the choreography, along with Scott Adkins, alone is just a merge of perfection here.
It is, man.
A merge of perfection here. I don't want to say too much, but when you get a chance, Sean, please check that out.
Yeah. The new stuff. I miss so much of it now that.
Yeah, man. Because you got to see Undisputed 2, and
Mm-hmm.
that was 3. And even Boyka Part 4 wasn't too bad either. Oh, the fighting is great in all the movies, but I
Yeah.
think Undisputed 3 might have had, well, 2 and 3 had better stories than 4,
Mm-hmm.
but in all 3 of those movies, Scott Adkins and the fighting was amazing.
Yeah. So, have you guys seen this one, Operation Scorpion?
Operation Scorpio. No.
No, Lu Chai Lang, Drunken Master 2.
What?
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Where'd you find
Unless
this?
yeah.
Oh man, I seen this back in the day, 1991, as soon as it came out.
Unless I've
What?
seen it and I just can't picture it.
He
I
does
might
the
have seen
scorpion technique. So he's on the ground. That's how
Yeah, yeah,
he.
yeah.
That's his
Oh,
technique.
let me write this down.
Yeah, no kidding. No kidding. I
Yeah.
know. See, Lu Chai Lang, Gordon Liu.
Yeah.
Um, man, when Shaw pretty much went away, and it became like a TV, was it ATV or something? They started doing TV shows. A lot of those guys, especially like what everybody knows, Gordon Liu, Lu Chai Lang, right? And
Mm-hmm.
um, there was quite a few movies. Like he did one where it was like spiritual kung fu, like he was fighting ghosts or something like that,
Yes.
and that came out in the mid '90s as well.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yep.
it was kind of funny, I mean, you couldn't watch it and be like, this is real kung fu, you watched it and you're
Right.
like, this is comical,
Mhm.
but it was still fun to watch.
Yeah.
So the
Yeah,
next,
I mean, it's great that they got to, like, I didn't get to see that one. I didn't even know about that one.
oh yeah,
And
they get busy. They get busy. So
yeah,
the next
I'm
one,
just glad to see that some of those guys had the opportunity to continue their career, so.
Ooh.
Hard Time in China 2.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said before, keep referring to the fight scene with the sticks with Donnie Yen and Jet Li.
Yeah.
Sometimes I just go to YouTube, pull up that fight scene, and just watch it, and it's like, man,
Yes.
how they pull this off? Choreographer, he has two of the best guys working in martial art movies working together. Like,
Yep.
it just can't get no perfect in that.
Mm-hmm.
Great movie.
Who was the fight choreographer on that one?
Um,
Do you remember? Because at the time that was pretty much still like Golden Harvest, kind of.
thing,
Yeah, that was still back in the day.
Yeah, because Jet Li kind of
I want to
started.
say Stu Hart was the director. I'm gonna have to look into that. And I have to get back to you. But the
But
next I got up
There's
here,
like a whole story behind Jet Li and the Raid. Hey,
Oh.
Jet Li pretty much he started as a real Shaolin monk, and
yeah, he trained.
and yeah, he kind of became part of their PR campaign, so to speak, traveling all over the place, doing shows,
Yep.
and that's kind of how he ended up in the movies. But that was pretty early. I mean, we're talking like very early 80s, very early 80s. So
All right, okay. So let's go what I was saying. The Raid. I'm
Yep.
quite sure if you do have your personal list, I'm quite sure this will make it to your list.
Man, that movie is just oof.
I
Yeah.
went to the theater and seen this movie. I just sat there, it was like in awe.
Yeah, man. They really took it to another level.
Yeah. Now this one right here, it was a split here. These were Shaolin soccer, but I had to go with
Kung Fu Hustle.
had to go with- Did you see this one, Sean?
oh yeah. One of
Stephen Chow.
so true story. The guy in the movie that has the rings.
Mhm.
Yes. Yeah, he's a real martial
He's
artist.
in the group. He comes there sometimes and posts in our Facebook group. So
No.
yeah.
Oh my
It's kind of
God,
fun.
man.
It's fun. He's around. He's around.
I gotta check your Facebook group out, man, because he's the real deal, man.
He's
Like,
the real deal. Yeah.
Yeah, one of my instructors actually met him because he practices Hungar, and it's the real stuff. And Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Wow.
So what did I just watch, Ro? I am glad you mentioned the raid. I was about to get on you for not missing the great movie coming out of Thailand, Indonesia, and South Korea. Oh yeah, I got it covered. I definitely got it
Great.
covered. So the next one I got up here for you guys.
Yes. Yeah,
On Bach.
Tony Jaa.
Here
Yeah,
we go. Here we
my
go.
boy.
Talking about Thai movies.
There you
Yes.
go.
Yeah.
That's for
Tony
you,
Jaa.
Lady Sasha.
Wow, that guy.
Mm-mm-mm. Mm-mm.
Yeah. I thought it was awesome choreography, great fight scenes, great techniques that we haven't seen. It was a fresh techniques to see. Like, we're used to like the five, animals, Tai Chi, stuff like that, karate, Shotokan. But when I seen these techniques done, it was a breath of fresh air, and plus it was
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
well executed. So that's why that movie made it on my list.
And that movie, one thing I noticed was they managed to find a way, because in that movie, Tony Jaa, he's fast. Man,
Yeah, he
he's
is.
fast. They found a way, kind of like the Bruce Lee problem. How do you film that and make it entertaining? Because he's so fast. Like real fighters, it ain't pretty. They get in there, handle their business, and they're done, right?
Right.
How do you film that and make it entertaining? They somehow pulled it off in that movie.
Yeah.
That was what made it so great to me, was like when, like in the scene where he was fighting in the bar and
Yeah.
he just throws a leg right in that guy's chest. And it was so fast. It was like, bam. But they found a way, through camera angles and everything else to capture that and make it entertaining. It was really good how they did it.
Yeah, it was.
Great stuff. So the next one I got for you guys is I'm going back on you guys. I have to go back on you guys. I have to get gritty on you.
Sonny
Oh,
Chiba.
Sonny Chiba.
Sonny Chiba.
You got to get gritty on you. Had to go
Yeah.
gritty on you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man. Good stuff.
Had to do the breathing. Get it going. Yeah. Yeah.
Haratori Hanzo will make you a sword.
Mhm.
That's right.
I like it protected. The scene where he breaks everyone's legs and arms was the best. Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Elephant technique, man.
Mhm.
That was some
That
crazy
movie
stuff.
didn't get much recognition either.
No.
No, he's not getting much as he needs. So this next one I got for you guys is a classic.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Jackie at his best.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
I think this series right here is the only time you see him get real violent. Everything else, he's not as violent. It's very comical.
Mhm.
But this series right here, he gets gritty, great stunts, great fight scenes, and he takes it there.
That was
So
the
he
first time
doesn't-
he tried to come over to the United States, and that's why he kind of approached those movies like that, because he was trying to break through, and it
Yeah,
didn't quite happen. He had to wait another, whatever it was, 5 or 6 years. But yeah,
Okay.
And he was it Police Story 3 with Michelle Yeoh in it? I think
so.
Yeah, he started really catching on. Like Project A with Sammo Hung came along.
Mhm.
Man, Jackie in the mid '80s was just on fire.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was.
So the last one I got for you guys is something that's, I think it might still be on Netflix, but that's where I seen it, and it's called The Night Comes for Us, Indonesia. Have you guys seen this?
I have not seen it yet. Don't spoil it, because it actually is on my list. It actually is
Have
on
you
my
seen
list.
this?
No, it's on. If it's on Netflix, it's
Write
coming
it
on
down.
tonight, though.
You gotta write that down. I'm co-signing that one. These are the same people that made the raid.
Yes.
So that's all I'm gonna say. I'm not gonna disclose too much information on that movie, but yeah, that guys.
The Ring.
The raid. Same guys that made the raid.
Oh, the Raid. Yeah. Okay. I was like, The Ring. That's Japanese, but
Yeah,
So,
he
you know what?
great.
I have this thing, Sean, where I call it the speed round. Night Watch participate in it a couple of times, so he's aware of how I go about it, where I ask questions, you guys can answer them. So, with that being said,
Uh-oh.
I'm going to go to the first one. Let's see what tournament said. The last dragon should be on this list somewhere. I co-sign it. Come forward. Oh, yeah, so he's seen it. Yeah, he's co-signing that. Yeah.
You know what?
You ready?
I have to admit, The Last Dragon, yeah, it was cheesy,
Yeah.
but it's American and it was really good.
It
I
was.
mean, going into it knowing what it is,
Mm-hmm.
but
Mhm.
they really captured kind of that spirit, of sure the fight scenes weren't amazing, but they did capture the spirit really well of the whole genre.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it was good. It was
It's
good.
a popcorn movie, that's one of the ones I'll sit down with the kids, my
Mhm.
kids, and throw out the popcorn and watch with them because
Yeah.
it's kind of safe. Like, you start talking about these movies and you're thinking like Five Elements, ninjas, and I'm thinking, I don't think, as much as I would want to experience this with my children, I don't think my 7-year-old's quite ready for that one yet,
Right.
So at least with The Last Dragon, you can watch it knowing
Mhm.
it's pretty safe,
Yeah.
Okay.
family friendly.
So here's the first question for you guys. Loss of a fight means loss of a life for a samurai. What movie does that quote come from?
Oh man.
Loss of a fight means loss of a
I know
life
it.
for a samurai.
Shaolin Challenges Ninja,
What's the other name to that movie?
or East Meets West. Gordon Liu. No, dang.
All right,
We
hold
already
on.
talked about it. It's on the list too. Super Ninjas.
That's in
Yes.
Super
Yes.
Ninjas.
You're right. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. I
What?
couldn't get it,
Because when
man.
he fought him at the beginning,
Yeah.
the Japanese, they fought the guy that played Golden Arms. He took his weapon, but before they started fighting, the samurai he said something like that. So when he beat him, the guy on the
Yeah.
side said, "A loss of a
Yeah.
fight means loss of life," and that's when he shot the poison
There's a
ring.
dart.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And then and there was a similar situation in that it's called Heroes of the East or Shaolin Challenges Ninja, right?
Yeah.
Where Gordon Liu goes up against that samurai, and the samurai lost the fight, and he put his sword up. He's like, ugh. So it was a very similar. It's pretty cool though, like that whole
Yeah.
Bushido thing.
Yep.
How they portrayed that.
So the next question I got for you is: at night we make a fire and have our tea and listen for the ninjas that never make a sound.
Dang, that's a good one.
That's a narration from a kid in the movie.
That's got to be Shogun Assassin.
Shogun?
There it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
There it is.
As soon as you said the kid, I was like, oh yeah, the kid narrated the entire movie.
Yep. Yep.
Abbott, you broke the rules. No, we're driving away wolves.
Dang, man, these are good.
Yeah, these are tough.
Abbott, you broke the rules. No, we're driving away wolves. 8 diagram pole fighters when he came in at the end.
Ah,
Remember I was saying?
All right.
They don't
Okay.
kill nobody. They take the wolf's teeth out, so there's knocking their teeth out. Yeah.
All right. Yep.
Mm-hmm. But my arms, they always stay with me. Yeah. Kid with the golden arms.
Oh, okay. All right, man. I haven't seen that.
Man, you should do Jeopardy. I ain't gonna lie.
Nice.
You'd be a ringer for the Jeopardy host.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Fill in the blank in the title of the movie. Mad Blank Kung Fu.
Monkey.
Mad Monkey.
Here it is. Mad Monkey Kung Fu. Okay. Boards don't hit back.
Enter the Dragon.
Oh, Bruce Lee.
Enter the Dragon.
That's Bruce. That's Enter the Dragon.
Yeah.
At this range, I'll use my elbow.
Ong Bak. No.
Dirty Hole when it was in the alleyway and it was fighting.
Okay.
That's right.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
What group had beef with Shaolin? The Mongolians or the Manchus?
Oh yeah, the
Manchus.
Manchus.
There you go.
The Manchus. Damn you, Manchus.
Yep.
10 blank from Kwangtung. Is it tigers, dragons, or snakes?
Tigers.
Tigers.
Here we go. How many chambers Sing Tai go through in Shaolin?
35.
35.
That's right, 35.
Trick
Yeah.
question.
That was a good
Yeah,
one.
that was set up for you guys. Yeah. So, what are some of your favorite martial art movies, Sean? Just name 5 for the top of your head without thinking.
Oh, Boxer
I see
from
Nightwatch thinking
Shanghai.
already. I see him down there thinking.
Yeah, I mean, I got a whole bunch behind me. I like Young Auntie a lot because it's fun. It's fun.
My Young Auntie.
Of course, 36 Chambers. 10 Tigers from Kwangtung.
Mhm.
One-Armed Swordsman 2. The first one was pretty good. The second one was amazing.
Mhm.
Man, that's a long list. It really is. So, of course, Shaolin Mantis. You got to have that on there. That old school stuff. And then you can't forget about like Magnificent Butcher. I'm always saying Shaw Brothers, but man, Golden Harvest did some amazing stuff.
Yeah.
Sammo Hung and Jackie Chan together made 3 or 4 movies, all about in the same time frame. And then it was that one guy, the old guy with like the long hair and the big long mustache. He was always kind of a drunkard. I can't remember his name, but he did a bunch of movies with Jackie Chan.
Yeah, he did.
That were absolutely stunning, that are on my list.
So, Night Watch, what are your 5 off the top of your head that you definitely enjoy?
Drunken Master, Enter the Dragon, of course, the Street Fighter, Shaolin versus Llama. I love that one.
Oh man, Shaolin versus Llama?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Man, I can't tell you how many times I would just watch the intro to that. It was just so badass. Come Drink With Me,
Yeah, Come Drink With Me.
Those are the ones that come off the top of my head, but it's so many.
There
Deadly
is.
Venoms, absolutely.
So Tony Man said no one mentioned the 5 Deadly Venoms.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's kind of like a go-to thing. Like that's a safe thing you go,
Yeah. I love the Venoms and 2 Champions, just
Triple Avengers,
Crippled Avengers, which is basically
The
Venom
Mask,
Part 2.
The Spearman, all that stuff. Yeah. So they definitely had some stuff there that, they had. So I definitely enjoyed this live stream. Sean, I'm glad to have you up here. Definitely want you up here again so I can pick your brain when it comes to Shaw Brother movies. Actually, I'll be putting a Shaw Brother list together in the history of Shaw Brother films. Night Watch, hopefully you can come through, enjoy the panel. I have somebody else up here with us to really dig deep into Shaw Brother movies, different genres from the comedy to horror and kung fu. Sean, you have something on Roku. You have your own channel, right?
Yeah. Of course, because of legal obligations, I kind of backed off of it. But there is a Roku channel currently in place that's just looping 24/7, mainly Taiwanese, easy to get kung fu movies, some of the cheesier, public domain kind of stuff. But it's up there and running right now. Bonfire Nation, you can see it behind you there. On Roku, you can go check that out and get all the cheesy kung fu you need.
Okay, so Mr. Dan and Harm, we loved the Five Villains when I was a kid. Yeah, yeah, there's
Yeah,
definitely a staple in the Shaw
absolutely.
Brother movies and stuff.
Absolutely,
And
Darren.
we have another one, Hobby View Fist of Legend, Jet Li.
That was a
Yeah,
great Jet Li movie.
yeah,
Yes.
can't go wrong with that. Definitely can't go wrong
Yes.
with that.
Yep.
Um,
Absolutely.
the five movies I think off the top of my head besides this list will be Master Killer. It will also be let's see, My Young Auntie, Shanghai 13, Marco Polo, and The Flying Guillotine. Just off the top of
Ooh.
my head with some Shaw Brother films. Um,
Nice.
Another thing too I want to point out is that the list I'll make for the Shaw Brother that I'm coming up with, I will get into the choreographers, um, the directors, the head of Shaw Brothers, the beginning, they peak, and when they kind of like descending back, when it wasn't making too many films.
Hmm.
Celestial Videos when they took over the copyrights and start, mastering and redigitalizing these movies.
Hmm.
Some stuff they left out, some stuff they put in, some stuff that they edited, some stuff that they kept pure. Um,
Cool.
and maybe I might hop over to Japan and get into those guys' studios and see if they had the offer and what they did. So again, I appreciate you guys coming on my platform and chopping up with me. Night Watch, thank you for supporting. You're always there for me, so I appreciate that. Sean,
Absolutely.
you're always welcome to come on this platform and talk about Shaw Brother movies. I think the next time you come up here, you'll be well prepared. I can tell. um,
Got to
and
do your homework on your show.
yeah, and you know what?
Pulling out some dusty gems, and I'm like, oh,
Oh yeah, we did. Me and Night Watch, we can go deep on you now. We can get deep this on you, though. We kept it kind of at the top crust. We didn't get too low on you. I do a speed round. Like every time I have people up here, and it's geared towards the topic or the genre. So the next time you come up here, it will be another Shaw Brothers speed round. So
Nice.
just the cobwebs off, guys, because I got
You
some
got
stuff
it. You
for
got
you.
it. You got it.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm gonna let you guys go, and
All
I'll
right.
let you know ahead of time when that stuff is set up. I got it all set up for you guys. All right.
All right. Sounds good.
Night Watch. I'll see you soon,
All
Sean.
right.
I'll be in touch. Appreciate it.
All right. Catch you guys later.
Okay. Peace.
All right. Peace.